Welcome to our Saturday Spotlight feature.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great weekend. I am Glenetta Heyman.
And I'm Liza Esqueda.
And we are your business and trademark BFFs. And we are really, really excited today to have a special guest on for you guys. Her name is Terri Maxwell. She is a fabulous lady. We've had a great conversation so far. So I'm excited for you all to meet her.
And I'm sorry I'm not on video, everybody. As a capstone to 2020, I broke my front tooth, as silly as that sounds. So you're seeing a picture of me and one of those front teeth is missing. And I just didn't know you guys well enough to jump on here without a front tooth. So I'm just going to be here without my video, and I'm happy to share whatever little tidbits I have about growing a business.
Well, we're glad you can be here with us. Sorry to hear about what happened. I mean, like you said, it's been quite a year, right? And that's really unfortunate that would happen at any time. But yeah, thank you for joining us. Anyway, and we see your lovely face here on your picture anyway. So we've got you here with us.
Awesome.
So what we do on our Saturday Spotlight is obviously feature you so that we can discuss what your business and services are and how they could potentially help entrepreneurs. And it's a great fit this week, because your business does just that. You know, your business is to help grow entrepreneurs. So would you like to tell us a little bit about that? So I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, so about 12 years ago, I started the equivalent of a purposeful Shark Tank, and it's called Share on Purpose, Inc., and that's our portfolio. And as I was starting and growing companies and investing in purposeful companies, I developed this methodology that I began to use with other entrepreneurs, and it was really helping them to grow their business, surprisingly so, very consistently. And about 3 years ago, some of them got together and said, you know, this methodology that you've built is really powerful. You know, can we license it, or can we turn it into a community? And then about a year and a half ago, they got really serious and they said, look, we'll put up the money. We've got to turn this into a company. And so earlier this year, we launched shiftco.global, and it's SHIFTCO, shiftco.global. And shiftco.global is a business growth platform for entrepreneurs who want to make the world better. So all of our customers are doing work that matters to them, work that's meant to both make money and make a difference. And they jump on our platform, and through a series of working with a mentor and working with this toolkit that we developed, they grow their business successful. And we've got about 250 members so far. We just launched a few months ago, and it's just exciting.
Wow, that's a good number of members. So I know you don't focus on business in the traditional sense. So
definitely,
can you explain to us what that means to you, not focusing on business on the traditional sense and having this new perspective in business?
Yeah, so, you know, I've been an entrepreneur since 2001. And when I first started, you know, it was about making the money. I was going to build a business. I was going to sell that business. I was going to take it public. You know, I've done all of these different things, but it wasn't that my first intention wasn't how can I make the world better through my business. So when I became a conscious entrepreneur in 2009, I really turned everything around, and I said, you know what, I'm going to focus on making a difference first, and then let the profit come from making a difference. So conscious entrepreneurs don't think in terms of how much money I can make. They think in terms of how big of a difference can I make. Conscious entrepreneurs don't think in terms of, you know, will someone buy my product? They think in terms of, will my product solve a problem? And they're, you know, our members are across the board. We've got financial planners, we've got, you know, coaches, we've got people who've built software products, we've got people who've built online marketplaces, you name it, they're across the board, but they have this more of a psychographic thread that they are trying to make a difference. And as a result of making a difference, that's how they make money.
I really like that concept, and just to kind of wrap my brain around it a little bit. So when people come to you with their business, do they already have it carved out in their mind? Like, what is my business going to do to give others, or is that what you do? Do you help them, like, say, I do trademark law, right? So I come to you as a client, for example. Do you is part of your service like cultivating how I should view that as my service? Or do clients typically come to you already knowing that, and that's why they come to you? Does that make sense?
Yeah, great question. So a little bit of all of it. The genius part of Shifco is this conscious business growth platform that I built over the last 12 years. And it's a diagnostic prescriptive model. So they basically answer a series of questions in the tool, and then it recommends what they need to do next to grow their business. So I'll give you 3 different scenarios. On the high end side, we'll have a business that's $1 million in annual revenue, and they're struggling to get to 2 million. And it's 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. That's one of the classic places that entrepreneurs get stuck, is they can't truly scale the business. So that individual would go through one of the mapping tools that we've built, and then it would recommend the adjustments they need to make. And then it would then prescribe a series of lessons. It would select a coach for them that's skilled in that area to help them grow. So that's at the upper end of folks that are further along. In the middle area, what I call Death Valley, is the businesses that are making $5,000 to $15,000 a month. And they're working their tail off, and they're like, I want to make more money, but I don't have more hours in the week. And so in their scenario, we prescribe a different set of pathways for them. So they're doing a different set of activities and a different set of lessons, and they're working with a different coach that helps them make their business more scalable. And then at the opposite end of that spectrum is somebody that says, you know what, I'm just here because I know I'm supposed to do this thing. I don't know how to turn it into a business. And then for those folks, there's a different set of pathways that they go through and a different coach that works with them.
Wow, I love that. I love that. It kind of it brings me back to, okay, where are you now and where do you want to be? We talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
And then how do you get there? And we get stuck with, okay, we want to get here, but how do we get there? And it sounds like you solve that problem. Your company helps to solve that problem and pairs them with an individual that can walk them through that. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, Glenetta, you hit the nail on the head. And, most of the time when we take business growth training, we're learning by somebody that's built a multi-million-dollar business who's forgotten what it was like when you were starting. And so you're overwhelmed, or you're, on the opposite end of it, the person that's teaching hasn't built a multi-million-dollar business and you're way more advanced than they are, and then you're frustrated. So what's the ingenious part of Shifco is this platform's got this diagnostic prescriptive element to it. And based on where you are and where you want to go, and based on what you already have in place, it then diagnoses what's missing, what's the next best step, and it recommends a learning pathway for you to go down, and it matches you up with one of our coaches who's skilled in that pathway to help you apply it to your specific business.
Well, that's awesome. You mentioned, so you mentioned like the people that are successful and can't make it to the next level somehow, something's stopping them, right? And then in the other category that you mentioned was the people that are spinning their wheels and they don't have enough hours in the day and they don't know how to get to the next level. I think a lot of new business owners, just if that's where they fail, unfortunately. And Glenetta and I talk about this quite often with people in our group about planning and how important it is to run the business like a business, and just not working smarter, not necessarily harder, but a lot of times business owners don't even know what that means, right? You don't know what you don't know. So you do need a good resource for this. You also mentioned previously off camera before we got on here that you get asked a lot about getting confidence for their business, right? Not having that fear of failure. And I feel like that's that happens quite often also with business owners that are new. Which is different, than business owners that just can't get to the next level. There's just fear of failure or fear of like not knowing if this is the right step. And if I take this step and it goes wrong, I should have done something else. I think that a lot of people do get stuck in that rut and need someone like yourself to help them with that plan to keep moving.
Yeah, and it's one of the reasons why each of the pathway has business training as well as personal development and leadership development, because you can't separate that. For example, in those earlier stages where you're stuck and you're paralyzed by fear, one of the personal tracks that's included in your pathway is something called pure confidence. And pure confidence helps you strip away the story. It helps you strip away the shoulds, helps you strip away caring about what other people think, and really learn to listen to your inner compass about what's right for you in your business. And that combination of it bringing in personal and leadership development into each of those different pathways is one of the things that makes it work. We work on mindset, we work on energy, in addition to actually learning the business skills. And each pathway has different personal development areas that are included to help you work through those areas that have you stuck.
That sounds great. So in your program, do you, when you have clients come to you, do you work with them individually, or do you put people together because they can possibly learn from each other? Is that part of the process?
Yeah, great question. So in the there's 6 phases in the platform. In the earlier phases, they work predominantly in small groups because the collaboration and the other perspective, that outside-in perspective, helps them. And then they get individual sessions at key points in these pivot points in their business. In the upper levels, it's predominantly, I would say about 80% one-on-one and 20% small group, because it's so customized. When your business is at $1 million and you're trying to get to 2, or when you're at 2 million trying to get to 5, it's really highly customized. And the curriculum is available. The pathways are available for them to do on their own time, but the coach works with them individually. So it really depends on which of the 6 phases someone is at and where they are and where they want to go. But it is a combination of both small group and individual.
Wonderful. And do you work with individuals all over the US, or where are your clients primarily located?
Yeah, we do work. I mean, if you can see on the map on the shipco.global down at the bottom, there's a map and you can see all these little dots where our members are. About 80% of our members are in the US and the other 20% are global. It's just spread word of mouth. We haven't really done any marketing. We're just now starting to do shows like this and some media and things along those lines, but they're all over. Now, the primary investors who were all customers of mine that pushed me into doing this, which I'm grateful for, they're predominantly based in the Northeast and in Texas. And so you'll see a lot more concentrated there just because it's all grown organically, word of mouth. And I told my friends and they got on the platform, and they told their friends and they got on the platform. And then, like Dallas, for example, we have 50 members in Dallas. We have 25 in New York, 18 in Buffalo, 10 in Toronto. So you'll see all those little circles represent where all the members are.
Right. I'm looking at the map right now. You sure do have quite a bit in the Northeast. And yeah, Texas.
Can you share your screen, Liza?
Oh, I'm looking at it on my laptop, not on my
okay.
desktop over. Tell me.
Can I share my screen? I can show you. Oh,
Sure.
no, I can't, because I could show you on my screen.
Let's see.
Sure, let's see.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll show you the outside of the platform first. So this is what, if someone went to shipco.global, this is what they would see. And there's a little video that describes it. And then there's a little our members talking about it. And then down here's the map. And when we built this, it's really designed to be a collaborative platform. So you can see all these little pods. It's because it's growing organically. We're not marketing it. And, for example, over here, we got somebody in Europe that just fell in love with it and started telling their friends. So that's why all those are there. We have our first member in Hawaii, so I'm very excited about that because I'm like, let's go to Hawaii. Yeah. So you can see, where they all are, which is really cool. And then can I show you the inside of the platform? Oh, actually, no, I can do it on the outside. So this is the Conscious Business Growth platform right here. So this is what I was talking about. So each of these 6 phases, wherever they are, for example, if they're $0 to $10,000 a month in US, they have 7 different pathways to go from there to 10 to 30. And everybody doesn't work the same pathway. So I might need differentiation. Somebody else might need demand generation to grow their revenue. Somebody else might need branding. And so they have these different pathways that they go through. And then there's 14 pathways to go from shape to build. And then there's 12 pathways to go from build to evolve. And so you work the pathways that you need rather than everybody learning the same thing.
Okay. That makes sense. That's customized to the size of their business and what they need right now to grow it.
Exactly.
So do you work with are there certain industries maybe that are drawn to you more than others? Who is it that you work with primarily?
You know, it's everything. I mean, we just had a real estate agent join in Canada, in Saskatchewan. I mean, I was like, what? And she's like, no, somebody told me about it, and I want to work with more customers that are trying to make the world better. I want to sell sustainable homes, and and not just sell anything. Like the only common denominator is that they really are very conscious. They see their business as a way to make the world better. And they also want to, become wealthy from their business. They don't see that as an or, they see it as an and. And again, we've got in the South, in the Northwest, we have an Edward Jones financial planner who's up here. And he basically wants to focus with the people that invest with him, want to invest in conscious causes. So they don't want to invest in a business that, is polluting the world. They want to invest in businesses that are committed to climate change and sustainability. So that's the only thing they have in common. We've got, somebody that sells products to hospitals, PPE basically to hospitals. She's on the platform. She's in the Northeast as well. And she wants to attract a different customer base, where it's not just about just getting supplies to people, but it's about doing so from small businesses. And it's just this idea of people who are collaborating to try to use their business as a force for good. It's very unique.
I like that. It's like your on your website where we can see it here, elevate business, shift humanity. I like that. That basically
exactly.
That describes what your business is.
Exactly. So we want to elevate the very nature of business. We want to get it back to its original roots. My first entrepreneurial mentor was my grandfather, and his family had a little general store in Racine, Wisconsin, and they didn't think in terms of lead magnets and click funnels, and they basically took care of their neighbors, right? And they tried to make their community better. And I really feel like after this crazy year that we've had, that more people really want to get back to that. And they really want to use their business as a vehicle to create positive change, but they don't want to give up the opportunity to earn income. And ShiftGo is designed to help those people.
And it shouldn't be an either or, like you mentioned, it's an and.
Exactly. And it took me a long time to figure that out. I had taken a company public, and then I started my own business, and I grew that and sold it in early 2008, which was good timing. But my whole career was growing companies that sold stuff. It wasn't really about making the world better. And deep down inside, I thought that it was an or. I thought that I could either make money or do good. And I kept saying, when I retire, that's when I'll focus on doing good. And so in 2009, when I started my Shark Tank called Share on Purpose, Inc., and our first company, Succeed on Purpose, I just said, I want to live in the and. I want to make money and do good. And I'm going to figure out how to do that. And that's basically how the Conscious Business Growth Platform was born, was figuring that out. And then once I figured it out, I just turned it into a methodology that other people could use.
I love that. I really love that. So can you tell us, what is one piece of advice that you can give our viewers, our listeners, because you have 20 years of being an entrepreneur, building your Shark Tank, Share on Purpose, and just you have all this experience and you've worked with all of these people. What's one thing that we should take away and we should put in our pockets and hold on to?
Yeah, I'll tell you that in the context of a story. When I first went out on my own in just shortly after 9/11, I had been in startups and helped them grow and sell their business and go public and all that kind of stuff. But I'd never gone out on my own. And when I went out on my own, the end of 2001 and 2002, I failed miserably. I mean, I was like the biggest failure there ever was. And I almost quit. And this was about 7 or 8 months in, and I said, I'm just going to go back and get a job again. And it's a lot easier. And something told me to press on. And I heard a lady speak. Her name was Pat Musiak, and she said, "You get what you expect, not what you want. You get what you expect, not what you want." And that really resonated with me. And I started thinking about, what do I really expect? And I expected it to be hard. I expected, not to know. I expected to fail deep down inside because I was so afraid of failure that I just focused on, I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail. And I was so afraid of failing that that's all I focused on. So I said, I'm going to do myself a favor. And before I quit, I'm going to interview as many successful entrepreneurs as I could. And back then I had the phone book. So I got the phone book out and I was just calling people, cold calling them and saying, I want to interview you and find out what caused your success. And I interviewed over 100 entrepreneurs over about a 6-week period. And the only thing they had in common was they refused to quit. It was perseverance. They just refused to quit. And they would, they said it different ways, but that was the only common denominator. It wasn't a degree. It wasn't the business. It wasn't how much money they had. It wasn't, the network they had. The only common denominator they had was perseverance. They refused to quit. And if you take failure off the table, if you say, I am not going to fail, then what happens is the brain it works in either or. So if I say I refuse to quit, then the brain will say, okay, well, then I got to find a way. And so the brain shifts over to finding a way to work. And that's when you start seeking solutions. And that's when you have the breakthroughs.
I think it's great that you did that. That reminded me when I was in law school and I wanted I knew in law school that I wanted to have a solo practice because I was a non-traditional student and I was in my 40s and wasn't going to go, take the traditional route. I had a professor who had me interview 10 people and I kind of had to awkwardly call 10 lawyers I didn't know that were so practitioners and ask them, what they did, what they liked, and as important as what they did well and what they liked was what they didn't like and who hated their job, because then I was like, well, then I'm not going to run my practice the way that person ran their practice because they don't like their job. So I think that was a great move on your part. And I love that saying. I wrote down what you said about you get what you expect, not what you want. I think that's a great reminder. As business owners and entrepreneurs, we all start off very optimistic and happy and geeked and, guns blazing and all of that. And we get to the point at some point where we do need to make sure that we have that correct mindset that keeps you going. And that just, it resonated with me when you said you reached out to people before quitting, because I think a lot of entrepreneurs get to that point where they're like, it would just be easier to just go get a job, a job I may not like, but at least it's continuous income versus, the struggle of bringing in the income.
Exactly. And if you say, I'm going to take quitting off the table, then my only other choice is to find a way. And the brain is fascinating. When you take quitting off the table, the brain will shift and it'll look for a way to be successful. And that was a game changer for me.
I love that. That's great. So how do clients reach you? How do they find you? We saw the website. Is that the best way for them to reach out to you?
Yeah, we have all sorts of free events on there so that they can get to know us. And that's really the best way is attend any of those free events. So you can check out, what our members say. You can, find us on Facebook. We've got a Facebook page. But we've got tons of free events. We usually do 2 to 3 free events, and they're always very informative, where we bring on guests, to talk to our members. And they can just attend any of those free events and check us out. And if they want to join and grow their business, we'd love to have them.
Great. What's the website again?
shiftco, SHIFTCO.global.
Thank you.
I love that. Well, thank you. I love everything you said. I think it's going to resonate with the people watching, the people listening in our group. That was a lot of great information, and I think this is a great service that you offer for entrepreneurs. I'm so glad that you decided to come on here with us.
Well, thanks for having me, and thanks for the work that you guys do. I frequently say, to our members that when you know you're really making a difference, you really need to protect that difference. And I'm looking forward to partnering with you guys and helping our members find out about you too.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And thank you for sharing your knowledge with us today and all of your advice and your wisdom and experience as an entrepreneur. We greatly appreciate it.
We do. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks, ladies.